Hey guys, Mr. Thaxton here. It is Friday. You can be excited about that as we get ready for a weekend where I'm hoping you can get outside, play, have a good time with some friends and your family. I wanted to have a quick lesson today, just kind of summarizing the week and getting us started for next week. You know, we started talking about continents and then oceans yesterday. And today we're going to kind of look at those as well as other geography slash map things that we need to make sure we know before we get into social studies events this year. So the first question I have is, why do we have these? Why do we need to know this? Well, it's important that we know where places are, right? When we have a map, why do you have a map? To find out a location. But we kind of need to know in our mind where something is. If I need to get to my uncle's house in Georgia, I know where it is, but I still would have to use a map to help guide me there. But I have the general idea of where it is. And so I want you to know the general idea of where places are, but also know how to use maps effectively. So, hemispheres. We have two types of two hemispheres. We have the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. But we also can split it the other way and have a western hemisphere and an eastern hemisphere. If I had the world and I said a globe and I said split it in half, you would either split it in half like the northern and southern, or you would split it in half between the western and eastern. Looking at this map, we are in the northern hemisphere, but we are also in the western hemisphere. Okay, so it's important for us to know that. The northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere are separated or divided by the equator. The equator is a latitude line. So all the latitude lines are going horizontal, where the prime meridian, which divides the eastern and western hemisphere, are longitude lines. And when I think of longitude, I think of vertical. I think up and down, because a lot of times when you're measuring distance and you're getting the vertical of something, it's going to be long. It's going to be greater than. So I think of that way. It's a good way for you to remember. So latitude goes horizontal, longitude goes vertical. Equator is a latitude line. Prime meridian is a longitude line. Question I might ask, or question that might be asked, what divides the western and eastern hemisphere? What's the answer? Prime meridian. That's right. Now, here's another question. What if I divide the northern and southern hemisphere? What divides it? If you said equator, you are correct. So that kind of just gives you a little outline. Then we talked about continents this week. Who can name the 7 continents? Looking at this picture, you should be able to kind of know where we are. We are in the North American continent. And I asked this question to my class yesterday, was what countries are in North America? And everybody said United States of America, but there's also Canada, Mexico, and some of the other countries in Central America. Central America is part of North America, even though we think of it as central. It's part of the North American continent. So South America is here, Africa, Europe, Asia, and Australia. And Antarctica is right down here, where it just disappeared to. And it's white, so I guess that's why it's hidden. Why is it white? Because it's cold. There's snow. There's ice. Next. And we're just going to label it for us. I went ahead of myself. So countries are part of continents. We talked a little bit about that. You see the Central American continent countries, Mexico, United States, Canada, Greenland. Those are all part of North America. Here's states are part of the country. Of course, where Alabama's here, we're going to focus in on the 13 colonies right here, and the Mississippi River is right in here. So everything east of the Mississippi are things that we're going to focus in on this year. Then next year, you'll really get into the western and western states. So there's mountains. We'll be talking about the Appalachian Mountains. And when you think of mountains, you think of huge things. But do we have huge mountains in Alabama? No. This is part of the Appalachian Trail or plains. Not plains, Appalachian Mountain Range. And that ranges all the way from Maine all the way down to close to Birmingham. And we'll focus on those. Where the Rocky Mountains were on the west, you'll focus on those in 6th grade. Look at all this water. Water was very important back in the early times because that was a major way of transportation. So all these rivers were important to the settlers in that country or in that state or colony. And so you see there was lots of ways for them to travel up and down the rivers. So what is a political map? A political map is that of showing location. I think when I think of political maps, I think of a map similar to this that has the maps of the states. Or if it was even broader, it could be the continents map is a political map. Shows boundaries between states, between areas. A physical map is a map also, but it's showing more the landforms. So the ones we just saw with the rivers and the waterways, that was a physical map. It wasn't showing boundaries or anything dealing with the territory, or it wasn't the main focus. Seeing a map key is one of the most important things on a map because it's giving you information on how to read a map. Okay, so if you see the fire, you know that's a campground. If you see a tree, you know that's a park on this map key. So it just kind of depends on what the map key represents. One thing I like to do sometimes when I give assignments is I'm like, okay, draw a map, and you come up with your own key for that, and we'll kind of get more into that later on. So scale is important too because is a map as big as the actual place? No. There would be no purpose of a map if a map was life size. So if I have a map going from Huntsville to Birmingham, it's not going to be as long as Huntsville to Birmingham is. It's going to be scaled. And so a scale is showing you what represents in miles or in kilometers, depending on where you're at. Here's an important thing, the compass rose. If you've been a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout, a lot of times you might use a compass, or if you go camping. A compass is telling you the direction in which you're going. In my desk right now, I know that I'm facing north, but that's because I know where I'm at and where I'm located. But let's say I'm dropped off in a forest or I need a map and I'm not sure which way is up or down, north or south or east or west. I look on the page for the compass rose, and it helps me turn the map the correct direction to kind of figure out where to go. A compass does the exact same thing, the one that's in your hand. A lot of phones have compasses on them that you can use nowadays. Remember that to determine the direction of movement, you must be careful of your starting location and move from there. Even though this line can go northwest and southeast, you can only go one direction on it, right? You're either going to go northwest or you're going to go southeast. You can't go both. And it depends on where you start. So if I start here and I'm more going this way, I'm going northwest. If I start at the other end, I'm going southwest if going down. So good to know. So that's just a quick little overview of the compass and of some terms that you will be needing to know this year. So What is your assignment today? Well, your assignment today is in the Google Docs on your in your assignment on your assignment button. So you're going to go to your page, and on your page you will click the assignment, and it will be a Google's Doc assignment, and you will just answer those questions. You can use the video that's being recorded right now to help you, or you can use, I will also try to put the PowerPoint underneath right here as well. Then you are to do CNN 10. CNN 10 is to be watched every single day, but you only have to do the writing portion of CNN 10 when this icon is there. So this week there should have been an icon here for that, for CNN 10, and here. But how often do you watch CNN 10? Every single day. So, but you only write on Tuesday and Friday. Any questions about that, please feel free to email me or contact me through Schoology. So that's it for me for this week. If you have any questions or any problems, please just let me know, and we will. I'll be happy to get back with you and answer those as quickly as possible. A lot of times now, I'm asking you, if you have a question, is to hop on a WebEx with me real fast. And when you hop on a WebEx, I want to see your screen. So you'll share your screen and show me what you're seeing. That way I can help guide you and answer your questions that you have. Well, guys, this is Mr. Thaxton saying have a good weekend, and I can't wait to see you on Monday.